Which NFC team do you believe will end up in the Super Bowl after a couple more weeks of madness, Kyle?
I love that song. It's
Great song. I'm just trying to help you out here.
I know. It was incredible. I blanked. Peter's going to tell us that he's going to the Panic at the Disco concert tonight. No. All right, here's your rock concert, okay? Because we keep going over all these, and it's easy to contradict yourself from day to day. I got to stick with the Saints because I think that they're going to win this weekend. Spoiler alert. And then they also could be looking at the potential of the NFC Championship game back at the Superdome, and then they could be looking at playing 2 games in 3 weeks in Minnesota, which is actually kind of cool. And Kay, I just look at this team. There's stars everywhere. I know the secondary hasn't been playing as well, but they still have stars there. And I'm including the head coach as a star, the fan base, the home field advantage as a star. Everywhere on the field, I got to stick with New Orleans.
There's a lot of starlight, you would say.
Starlight? Kay, you're on fire right now. Yes!
So listen, I'll go ahead and be a homer right now. And I feel like for what it's worth, as much as we want to compliment them, everybody's still holding their reservations about this team. And regardless of what happened at the quarterback position, Dalvin Cook going down, this team has done nothing but over-exceed expectations. And why would you think there would be anything different? More now than ever. We know the whole stat that there's never been a home team to host a Super Bowl. But I know you guys are getting that feeling, and it's getting close. And it is very, very possible with my Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going with these guys. Not just that defense that I talked about a couple minutes ago, but that offense as well. They have shown up and showed out.
Well done. Full disclosure, we were told we were going to be doing this yesterday, and I spent all day yesterday laboring over this, all this morning laboring over this. And during this very segment, I have picked up all 4 paddles at one point. And after Kyle's speech about the Eagles and home field, I'm leaning towards that. And then I think, okay, well, the Saints are the hottest team, going with that. And then I think the Falcons have something to avenge. And then I come back to what Nate was just saying.
Do the right
defense and the home field in this round, I think, will be enough to get by the Saints. And I don't know what happens in that Eagles-Falcons game. But if the Eagles fall to the Falcons are going up into Minnesota. And then Minnesota will host the NFC Championship game and then potentially the Super Bowl. I feel like there's something very special. I might be drinking that purple stuff,
yeah.
Nate. I got to think the Vikings right now as we head into the playoffs just because of the questions about this team's offense and quarterback at the moment. I need to see what they can do on Saturday before I start saying, all right, forget all what we did. The last few weeks, the Eagles, there were some questions about them.
Which AFC squad do you think ends up in Minnesota at the Super Bowl?
All right.
There are only 4. You have a 25% chance you're right, so we're good.
We've talked about this a lot, and we've talked about this image of Bill Laimbeer and Isaiah Thomas walking off the floor in Detroit as Chicago knocked them off. Until we see Gronk and Brady and Belichick walking off the field, having lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I think they'll play, it is these guys. It is these guys. And don't forget, last year they won a Super Bowl without who I think is pound for pound their best player, Rob Gronkowski. He is back. He is best. I think the Patriots win again.
In sports, we only have a few examples of a star player going down and making this heroic comeback. I remember T.O. had a broken leg and somehow got back on the field and looked like the best player on the field. I remember Willis Reed. He limps out onto the court and plays amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like Antonio Brown is going to be that in this postseason. The way that we saw him leave, him grabbing at his leg and hearing all these reports that it's a strain, it's a tear, something's wrong, and then seeing him limp through his rehab over the last couple weeks, I feel like he's going to have an amazing postseason, and he will be the guy that helps lead this team to the Super Bowl and possibly another Lombardi trophy for the Steelers.
I think he was inspired by Sean McDonough. I truly do. Fighting through it. Playing hurt.
If that Steelers-Patriots potential AFC Championship game was being played in Pittsburgh, I might have a different answer. But that Foxborough advantage
goes through them.
Is so hard to win there. I've been in so many playoff situations where they're up 14, they're down 14 against the Ravens. They find a way. Like the Texans gave him a battle one year. They find a way. I just think that Foxborough and that Patriot mentality is enough to get them to the Super Bowl one more time.